For step 3 of the typist design assignment, you need to open the template for step 3. And what you see should look something like this here. And so for this part, what we're going to do is make a full page almost of your pattern and see what it looks like when we repeat and condense it. So what I'm going to do is select one of the mini patterns that I like the effects that I've added to it. And so what we've got here is the third one, and I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to paste it over here. So Control C, Control V, and notice this is huge on this full page. And so what we want to do is resize this so that we can have at least 10 of these across the length of this. And so what we're going to do is copy it. And let's be efficient about doing this. So if I hold down an Alt, I can make a copy. We already know that. But one thing that we want to pay attention to is that we hold down on Shift as well so that this is in a straight line. Otherwise, it's going to end up looking off a little bit. And so I'm going to click and drag, close up these. I'm going to need these for a little bit. And so if I look and see how that's joined together, looks good. So what we want to do is select both of these now. And so that we're not duplicating individual ones across the way, what we're going to do instead is every time we make a copy, we're going to copy that copy. And so I hold down on Alt and it makes my copy. And then as I'm still dragging, I hold down on Shift and it keeps it lined up. And so now I'm going to zoom back out so I can see a little bit more. I'm going to select all of those now. I'm going to hold down and copy, hold down on Shift now, get those to line up. And we've got just a little bit here, so select the last two, see if that fills it up. And what we want to do is make sure that we have this filled. And so one way of doing that is to go ahead and select all of them and adjust the size. I don't necessarily like how that looks. I want more of them in this space, and so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to hold down on Shift and resize these and make them just a little bit smaller so I could fit another couple in here. So I'm going to copy, Shift, and let go. So now I can choose all of these and make them just a tad bit smaller to fit. And of course the computer doesn't want to let me make them just a tad bit smaller. It's all or nothing with this computer. Okay, so once you have a full line created, then select all of them, and you can probably guess by now what I'm going to tell you to do. We're going to hold down on Alt and copy and drag down this time instead. And once I'm dragging, go ahead and hold down on Shift so that I keep them in line. And go ahead and select all of them now. And keep doing the same thing. It shouldn't take you very long to do this step. So, as I'm doing this, let's talk to you about what we've got, what our next step is. And so if you like the effect that you've created, you can leave the effects that you have on this. And I would hope you would at least add a different color background, but if not, that's okay too. And so now I have a full page. Just to warn you, this very rarely happens where we actually don't have overhang down here. If your patterns end up overhanging on the right side or the bottom, that is perfectly fine. You're going to end up cutting this out anyway, and so you can always trim that off. So next step is we want to create a background for this. And so I'm going to use my rectangle tool again. I'm going to create a box, and right now that particular pattern is selected. And so I'm going to come in here and find something different. Oh, and notice the reason why that didn't change is I'm on my border. So if I wanted to make a gradient background, I could. We'll play around with that and see. And once again, we want to send this to the back. So you can right click, arrange, send to back, or you can also Command Shift and the left bracket key. So that's kind of messy looking. Let's try some other backgrounds and see what might look better. We could try some solid colors, maybe something lighter. Pattern on pattern is probably not a good idea. And one thing I'm realizing about this particular pattern is it has some transparency to it, and so it's kind of hard to see. I think I'm going to stick with the blue here. And so let's go back and revisit our directions, make sure that in the rubric we've done what we need to. So we're on the pattern sample step right now. So follow directions for page pattern, we've done that. It needs to be duplicated at least 10 times across. So let's double check that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're good. Apply background color pattern to the page pattern and make sure the patterns are spaced consistently. So, believe it or not, this is already finished. Once again, add your name in down here at the bottom so that if we print this, we want to make sure that we actually get this to the right person. So make sure you give your file the appropriate name. And for all three of these, we want you to turn them into Google Classroom, but you're also going to print them out and mat them just like you did in the radial design assignment. We have some more specific directions for how you do that, and so make sure that you pay attention when Mrs. Solomons and I explain that to you. So you've done a great job, I'm sure. Thanks for watching.